Welcome to my workshop. You are watching Casual DIY channel, and today we're going to be talking about the most versatile tool in your workshop, a speed square. In today's video I'm going to show you the most common uses of a speed square and how to use it correctly. First of all, I'm going to show you how to use a speed square to mark your work and what type of marks you can actually do with it. As you can see, the speed square is in the shape of a triangle. Okay, it does have this foot on one of the sides that is used to be butted against a piece of timber or material you want to mark or cut or anything else. Okay, so the basic mark you can use a speed square for is a right angle, just like that, and over here you've got 90 degrees. With a speed square, you also can do a 45-degree angle, okay? And you use the long side of the speed square. So that's the two most common marks you can do with a speed square. But that's not all. As you can see, on one of the sides, you do actually have a ruler, so you can do your marks that way. So for example, every 2 centimeters you can make a mark. Most of the speed squares will have this part over here. So as you can see, it's got several notches along the way. These notches will represent the distance on your ruler from the 0 point just over here. So you can draw quite easily long lines across your board. So for example, I want some lines at 3 centimeters. There you go. And now you can rip down the board on the marks you just done. On top of that, you also got an opening here with a ruler that gives you the ability to do marks at a certain distances. So for example, that's my 90 degrees and I want the next line to be 4 centimeters further. So I find my 4 centimeter mark there and I can do another mark, 4 centimeters. The next thing you can use this speed square is as a protractor, so you can find or draw angles on your piece of work. As you can see in the corner here, it says pivot. So that's our 0 point pivot point to find any angles. And on the opposite side, just over here, you've got the degrees. Okay, so it starts from 0 and it goes right up to 90 degrees. As you can see, 45 in the middle and everything in between. So let's mark our 90 degrees. Okay, holding the edge, the pivot point in our mark just over here. I'm going to move our speed square so the edge of the board will marry up with the degree we want. So for example, 15 degrees. Now that mark is straight with the line, with the edge of our board. So we can draw 15 degrees. Okay, same works for any other degree. Let's say 35. 35 flush with the side. 35 degrees. A speed square is also a perfect tool to transfer marks from one board to another. First one just over here, another one 5 centimeters further along, so I'm looking for my 5 centimeters just over here, marry it up with that line there, next line, and I want to transfer both of these marks to the next board, like so. Make sure this is flush, grab my speed square, just like that, and the marks are transferred. Now I'm going to show you another feature that a speed square has. As you can see, it does have those dotted lines just over here. Okay, so let's make a right angle and let's say a 30 degrees, just like that. And now if you want to make a right angle to this line, you're going to use that dotted line here. Okay, so you need to marry up the line with the dots here. Same on the other end. Okay, make a line, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And that option is quite useful if you're a carpenter or you want to build your own shed. That's for the roof part, for the tail itself, okay? A speed square is absolutely a must-have tool if you want to build a roof for your house, for your shed, anything like that. Why is that? You do have this middle part here. You got numbers, which are called common, okay? And on the top here, hip value, top cut, okay? I'm not going to touch too much about this as I think it deserves its own video, as there is quite a lot of information. So if you're interested in that, in making roofs for your sheds, for your houses, for anything else, and use this speed square to speed up your work and make sure everything's precise, I will have a separate video on this coming out very, very shortly. So if you don't want to miss that video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. But hey, let's have a look at other features and options you can use this really awesome tool. So for example, if you're laying down your studs, a speed square is a fantastic tool to make sure everything's square at 90 degrees. So as you can see, there's a tiny gap just there. So pushing it against the speed square, now we can drive in our screws and we can be certain that the stud itself is at 90 degrees. Right, let me show you another cool use of the speed square. So for example, I've got a tapered end over here. It could be a leg of a dining table, anything like that, and you want to find out that exact angle. Okay, so you place it on a straight board, on a straight surface, grab your speed square. Okay, so you got your degrees on this side here, and you move your speed square against the board until the edge over here meets that corner. Okay, meets the board there. So I'm gonna put that against, and then on the top you've got your mark for the degrees. As you can see, in my case it's 15 degrees. The edge of the board is dictating what degrees we've got. So the angle cut on the bottom of this leg is at 15 degrees. The next thing you can use a speed square is to find an angle, for example for a rafter or any other board that you want to find what angle it's on. And I've got two ways of doing that for you. The angle side is just over here, and we need to marry the angle with the edge of our board. Okay, and for that I'm going to be using this little level. I'm going to place it on the top of my square just like that, and I'm going to go until I'm going to get a perfect center on my level. There you go. The level is in the middle, and I've got 45 degree mark. So my rafter is at 45 degrees. There's another way of doing this. A string with some weight attached to it. Now with the string attached, I'm going to use my speed square to establish what degree we've got. Again, that's our pivot point just over here, and needs to marry up with the line itself. So we've got the string at our pivot point, and as you can see, the line is indicating 45 degrees. Now, for example, if we want to mark a level line on a stud or anything else on a wall, we can use the similar method with a string and some weight attached to it. Okay, let's put our square in use. So again, the pivot point needs to meet the string, and now we move our square until the line meets the 45 degree angle just over here. Just to make sure the line is level, absolutely bob on. Another thing you can use a speed square is to actually draw circles. Okay, grab yourself a nail, middle of the board. I'm going to use that pivot point just over here. against the nail, and depending what size of a circle I want, I'm going to place my pencil. There you go. If I want a bigger one, just like that. However, a square is also a perfect tool to guide your tools. For example, a circular saw. So if we want to cross-cut this board, I'm going to place my square with the foot against the board, making sure I've got a nice and straight angle here. And now the edge of the saw will be riding on my square, making sure I'm cutting straight. However, we can also do 45-degree cuts. But as you remember, we can actually cut any angle we want. Using the pivot and the degree marks over here, we can cut any angle you need for your project. In that scenario, I would definitely use a clamp and clamp the square down to your piece so it's not going to move on you. And with a square, you can guide any tool you want. For example, a jigsaw or even a router. Now, there's absolutely ton more uses for this awesome tool, and I'm going to cover all those little tips and extras in my shorts. So remember to subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss those. And hopefully you actually learned something new today and you enjoyed my video. If you did, don't forget to drop me that like button down below. Also, I do have a lot of projects around workshop and general woodworking videos on my channel, and I've got some really cool playlists just over here especially for you. So hopefully you can click on those and find another video you want to watch. Hopefully I'll see you on those videos there. Take care.